We're joined by Utah Valley head coach Mark Pope. Coach, this is your first season as a head coach. Can you just tell us what your expectations are?
Well, I think what my expectations are that we're going to work really hard every day, that we're going to be a way better team at the end of the season than we are at the beginning of the season, and that we're going to grow a program and grow it really, really fast. I expect that this league is growing quickly. I think it's funny how many relationships I have with the coaches around this league just from before, and they're all, for the most part, bright young coaches with a couple really, really savvy veteran coaches with growing schools and growing programs, and so I expect this conference to continue to grow at a high pace, and we're going to do the same.
Coach, you had mentioned once before that even when you were an assistant at BYU, you just didn't really know a whole lot about Utah Valley before you were offered the coaching job. If you could just explain your experience being recruited by UVU and how the UVU community and students have welcomed you into the program.
Well, it is interesting. This university was basically in my backyard, and I didn't know much about it, and I learned a lot about it quickly. And it's an extraordinary place. It's like several other universities in this conference that are just growing at this incredible pace, with this big upside, with a real commitment towards athletics. So getting to know President Holland and getting to know Vince Odopal, our AD, and kind of their vision for what they wanted Utah Valley basketball to be inspired me, and it didn't take long before I couldn't wait to get a piece of it and jump on board.
You have several players who are transfers that won't be eligible to play this season. You do have a true freshman, Intelli Davenport, who everyone is hyped to have him as a part of the team. What are your expectations for him this season?
Intelli's a freshman. I expect him to play great. He needs to come and play great and put up good numbers and be a leader and be a veteran player. I expect that out of all my guys. We grow fast, and this game is a pretty merciless game, and so we expect guys to come contribute and play well, and that's what Telly expects out of himself. So we're looking for big things from him, as we are from all of our players. We did recruit really heavy transfers, so we have a limited roster in terms of available numbers this year. But the expectation is that we come, strap up our shoes every day and we battle, and I think Telly's buying into that, and he's going to be a terrific player. He'll grow every year, but we expect him to really contribute this year.
Coach, a lot of the talk that's been surrounding the basketball team has been the change in pace this year. Can you tell us a little bit about the up-tempo, style of play that you bring to UVU?
Yeah, my guys were totally done with the change of pace. They were so excited 4 months ago. They're done now. Coach, please stop making us run. We're enjoying it. Right now we're a frenetic mess of turnovers and missed shots. But that's the beauty of starting the season, right? And what we are doing is in just the first 9 or 10 days here. I think we're at practice 14 now legally. We're just going short practices a couple times a day. But our guys are getting better quickly. And I think it's a fun way to play. I think they're really embracing it. There's going to be adjustment after adjustment. There's adjustment from the first day of practice to now. There's going to be a huge adjustment the first time they actually have the lights on and have to play at this pace and try and compete this way. And there'll be adjustments all through the season. But what we will do is by the end of the season, we're going to have a really good product on the floor that's going to be really, really competitive and have guys that have really matured in this style of play. It's fun to play. It's fun to watch. It's a great way to grow your game because you have possession after possession after possession where you get to grow. Sometimes it makes you want to pull your hair out too, but that's the beauty of this sport. I think the game is evolving into a more fast, free-flowing game. I think that's where we're going, and we're trying to stay ahead of that curve.
You talked a little bit about Intelli Davenport. Who do you think on the team this year is poised for a breakout season?
Well, I need all these guys to have breakout seasons. So, I have the preseason polls here. Hayes Garrity was voted as a second-team all-conference preseason player, which I'm pretty excited about. There was no preseason recorded vote for the preseason coach of the year, which I think is a real shame. So I would have voted for Several of the coaches in this conference. I think that Hayes is going to be good. I think that Telly's going to have a good year. I think that we have a couple junior college players that we need to really perform for us. Trey Young, who's a really, really slippery, quick, athletic shooting guard, who's a great play extender, especially at our pace. Andrew Bastian is a really, really young junior college transfer who's surprisingly athletic and has got a good body, but just has to learn the game really fast. I need him to be good for us. We have a good crew of seniors. We have 5 seniors, one of them being a walk-on. Darius Hamilton needs to step up and contribute this year in the post. We're going to actually ask him to make a big contribution for us. Jaden Jackson is a really, really talented scorer who needs to have a breakout year for us, and I think he will. I think he's really poised to come out as a veteran, savvy senior who's kind of been through it and make shots and play really, really aggressively. Marcel Davis is one of the best assist guys in the league last year, and he's going to have to carry a huge load for us at the point guard position. And Alex Carr is a really, really athletic, fiery, competitive wing that we actually might stick in the post so that when we're playing our 6'2" and under lineup, and we'll expect him to be competitive on the glass. It's a good crew of seniors, along with Corey Cardwell, who's a walk-on. He's one of our hardest workers and has been knocking down shots for us, a really intelligent player. We need those seniors to step up and be good. This is their team, and they get a chance to kind of usher in this new vibe with our team, and I think they're excited about it, and it's going to be challenging. They have a limited roster to work with, but we expect them to be really, really good, and we'll compete every night.
Can you give us some of your thoughts on some of the rule changes, the shot clock, the no 5-second rule, expanded restricted area?
I think probably reducing the shot clock is probably good for the game. I don't know how much of a real impact it's going to have. I think there'll be some coaches that kind of want to flirt with different offensive and defensive concepts to utilize that a little bit, but it's still 30 seconds is a long time. So I don't know how much of an impact that's going to have on the game. I think more concerning to me is this real push by the NCAA to control contact in the game, and they're doing that through I think it's 10.4.1 or it's 10.1.4 or whatever the rule is, this hand checking rule. They tried to go this route 2 years ago, and it really slowed down. You were seeing games, it was like 55 to 43 fouls in a game the first couple months, and then the officials kind of softened and went away from the end of the season, and they're telling us now that they're committed to calling this entire season in the next several years this way until we as coaches and players change, and I think that could have a huge impact on the game. So we'll see. We'll see how that whistle changes, but that's that could make for some ugly, slow games, and I think that's going to have way more an effect on and changing the game right now than the shot clock is.
You guys opened the season at BYU, where you obviously coached for the last 4 seasons. Can you just talk a little bit about that game?
I think it's going to be good for us. I think it's going to be good for our valley. Our campuses are, 3 or 4 miles apart. Our guys compete against each other in the summers. It's going to be fun for us to go there and compete. BYU is I'll be shocked if by the end of the season they're not a high top 25 team. They're really, really talented. And so it's a great opportunity for us to try and go into that gym and compete and try and win a game. And we're excited about that prospect. And Coach Rose was really generous in signing his contract. I've said this before, but I had to twist his arm a little bit. I worked for Coach for 4 years, so I have a ton of dirt on him, and so I had to threaten him to get this deal done, but it worked, and so we will move forward, and we're excited about the game. It is good when local teams play each other. It's good for the community. It's good for the guys. It's a great opportunity for us to test ourselves against the very best and kind of see exactly where we stand. I'm a huge believer in metrics. I think that you need to know who you are when you're building a program, and so we're going to find out early in this non-conference schedule exactly who we are and where we stand, and it's going to help us grow.
You returned just one starter from last year in Marcel Davis, who led the WAC in assists. Can you talk about Marcel?
Yeah, Marcel's terrific. It's a tricky deal, these assists, because he lost all the guys that he was giving those assists to. So we'll see how those numbers bear out. But he is a senior leader. He's been through a lot in basketball, and he's been through a lot in his life. And he is a mature young man, and this is going to be an epic challenge for him. We sat down and had a conversation 10 days ago about the opportunity that he has in front of him. Losing Zak and some of the tough turns that we've taken so far could be really discouraging for Marcel, or he could look at it as whoever gets this opportunity in their lifetime when you have a team that is completely dependent on your performance, both in the locker room and on the floor. And if there's anybody that's been prepared to handle that burden, it's Marcel Davis. And so, I'm pushing him every day to take a leadership role on this team, and it's not his natural demeanor. He's not a fiery, vocal leader. He's kind of a quiet, let me do my job leader. And so he's got to get way outside of himself and lead this team. And I'm excited for him to have this challenge and opportunity this year. Great, beautiful young man.
Coach, one of your biggest impacting players last season, Zak Nelson, unable to play this season due to the surgery he had, which caused some blood clots. And if you could just kind of talk about how his spirits are and how big of a blow is that to your team this season?
I'm glad we don't have to have him. This guy, he just is a cancer to a team. There was nobody more excited when he got hurt than I was. No, this Zak Nelson, a special young man. He really is. And he, maybe more than anybody on our team, is a guy that naturally wants to take the whole weight of the team's success on his own shoulders. We've had some long conversations in different arenas, and he, as much as he was pained by this injury because he had worked so hard this summer. He was playing his tail off. Man, he was playing good by the end of the summer. So good and feeling so confident, and had worked so hard. And when he got hurt, I think he knew right away that it was a real injury. And I think he was devastated for himself, but I think he was more devastated because he feels this responsibility to his team. And he feels the responsibility to these seniors. It's their last shot to go through this deal. And I think it's been hard for him. I think he does also appreciate the future of this program. I think he appreciates the direction we're going, and so the fact that he's going to be able to have 2 years now on the tail end of this, so he'll sit this year and then have 2 years after instead of one. I think he is excited about that because everybody around our program can see the trajectory of where we're going and the help that's on the way, and he's going to be a major part of that. So, I think he's trying to embrace this role of being a leader from the sidelines this year, and he'll do a good job with that. Again, man, what a terrific young man he is.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thanks, guys.